they can kind of like safely check and see if everything is okay on these commercial trucks and a bunch of other rigs as well. Now this morning I'm joined with Trooper Declan Ryan. Now Trooper Ryan, tell me a little bit about what we're kind of looking for out here.
So we're looking for anything that might be unsafe, such as tires that are flat, possibly falling off, chains that are not properly secured, vehicles or equipment or whatever commodity they're hauling that's not properly secured. We're looking for drivers who are possibly driving without a CDL, the proper licensing, without not keeping their logbook, keeping up with their time, or maybe fraudulently or falsifying their time. We're looking for just anything that can potentially hurt other motorists, can hurt the roads, and the drivers themselves.
And why is, I guess, this important? I know you kind of mentioned safety right there, but this is huge for Tennessee.
Absolutely. So specifically in this area, we have I-40, I-65. We have some major interstates that run in the Nashville area. There's a lot of commercial motor vehicles that are come up and through here, going across, from East Coast, West Coast, North, South, whatnot. With that higher amount of commercial motor vehicles, obviously, there could be higher chances of crashes, wrecks, or injuries as a result. So we're just making sure that everyone's safe, everyone knows, the laws, and educating the general public as well as the commercial motor vehicle drivers.
Well, I'll let you get back to work, but we'll talk soon in the next hour or so. But reporting live here on I-40, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. are here on I-40 at, what do you guys call these?
We call them mobile ports.
Mobile ports. So different than a weigh station because you don't have all the equipment, but it does allow for like a safer way to, check and see if these commercial vehicles are properly like, or I guess like safety. Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So we're looking for anything that might cause any accidents, road damage, anything like that, such as, tires being deflated, maybe even missing, just running on a hub, improper load securement, anything that's not properly secured down to the truck. We're looking for any sort of driver violations, such as not having a proper commercial license to drive. Looking for logbooks, making sure their logbooks are in compliance and they're within the required driving time for that day or that period. We're also looking for just basically anything that might hurt anybody out there, whether it's themselves or the general public. So a facility like this allows us to have a safe area to inspect trucks, because sometimes we have to crawl underneath a lot of times. It also provides safety for the driver. They're off the interstate. There's no cars around, hopefully, as well as for the general public. We're off the interstates and we don't have to worry about someone hitting us.
I know that moments ago you were kind of saying that you guys have like about 3 seconds to kind of like see exactly like what is happening there on the trucks. Tell me a little bit about that process and how it does take skill to do that.
Absolutely. So if we're sitting on the side of the interstate looking for trucks as they come by, they're doing 70, 80 miles an hour, whatnot, depending what the posted speed limit is. So for us to see that truck, we have 2-3 seconds to see it, perceive it, and figure out, hey, is there a violation that we see, and is it worth us going after? So it's such a short amount of time we have to see that truck, identify anything that might be wrong, and then make that decision if that's a truck we want to do an inspection on.
And this is super important for safety of all Tennesseans. I know that already this year in 2025 we've seen about 40 fatalities involving big trucks, like over 10,000 pounds. So tell me a little bit about this importance.
Absolutely. As a commercial motor vehicle driver, you're held to a higher standard than the general population, since it's your job to drive. You should be more proficient in driving and knowing the laws. On top of it, they have a lot of other cars out there that aren't paying attention to them, and don't consider them when making certain actions. Passing a commercial motor vehicle, cutting them off, whatnot. So it's definitely something that is very important for us to educate the drivers as well as the general public on the laws and safety of the road.
Absolutely. As we, I guess, see some of these trucks come in, what are I know that you were saying it's like the smallest detail can lead up to something biggest thing. So what kind of things like from the human eye can you see?
Absolutely. An easy thing would be mud flaps. So the rearmost part of the vehicle has to have a mud flap. So if they're missing a mud flap, rocks can get kicked up, break windows. We've all been there. It's all happened to us. So something that, small can lead to finding drugs, alcohol, felons, or other serious out-of-service violations, brakes not working, improper load securement, stuff of that nature.
I know that while we were driving here, you also noticed that maybe some could be overweight. How do you tell or gauge that when you are driving along the interstate?
It's hard to kind of gauge that in a sense that it's something that just takes a lot of experience weighing trucks and kind of having that understanding and doing it over and over, repetitive. That's it's kind of tricky. Yeah.
I know that you said you have equipment to actually weigh trucks, but right now that's not set up, so you're kind of just looking for the small things that could lead to a potential violation. I don't know. What else do we have out here? I know that we're talking about fatalities and making sure that everyone on the road is safe, and you kind of already explained that. I do know that when we're setting this up, this is new to me, so I'm sure it's new to people. That all these trucks know that they kind of have to stop here and kind of go through this area. Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So we have signs set up at certain distances back saying, hey, truck inspection station up ahead. And then on that, our big sign we have down there, it's a big green sign. We also put up flashing lights, and we have a little white sign that we flip that says open and closed. So when the signs flip to open and we have those lights up, it's the indicator that, hey, you got to pull in. Not all trucks do it, unfortunately, but they're supposed to.
Definitely easier for you to do it this way than be on the side of the road, for sure, I guess.
It's much safer. In the past few months here, we've had in the Nashville district two emergency responders, one trooper and one firefighter, just this past week struck by commercial motor vehicles on I-24 while at the scene of an accident. And it's important for us to go home every night as well as everybody else. So if it makes it safer, we're all about that.
I know that the move over law is still a thing in Tennessee as well.
Absolutely, 100%.
Tell me a little bit about that, because I know that not everyone knows about that, especially it's such a transient area over here.
Absolutely. So basically in the state of Tennessee, and I think it's almost all states now pretty much have some version of move over law. If you see an emergency vehicle stopped on the side of the road with its lights on or whatnot, you have to slow down, reduce your speed, and move out of the way. So if it's safe, go to the next lane over if it's safe to do so. And if it's not, slow down drastically to make sure that you're giving us enough space, time, and everything like that to react to other vehicles. That also applies to tow trucks and cars broken down on the side of the road. So if you see a car broken down, you still got to move over for it for their safety as well.
Okay, let's see what we're working with here. If you want to show some of the vehicles hopping in, because yeah.